Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first session today, named Pillar 3, Role of Support Systems in the Establishment and Development of Social Enterprises. On this panel, we will focusing on system of support for social enterprises, including legal framework, policy documents, membership in networks, and access to education and trainings. So we will discuss about how define legal framework and incentive policy environment can boost of the development of social enterprises. Moreover, membership of the networks, including access to business advisory services and education, will be highlighted as crucial to enhance the social enterprises to be more scalable, innovative, and to have more ideas. Also, in the conclusion, this session will emphasize importance of these systems in creating favorable ecosystem. So today, my speakers are Julia Kocanovic, Foundation for Social and Economy Initiatives, Maja Taseva, Head of Sector for International Cooperation and Program Development, Agency for Promotion of the Entrepreneurship of the Republic of Macedonia, Nikola Dimkovski, Regional Center for Enterprise Support Bitola, and Elena Kalinova, the Bulgarian Center for Nonprofit Law. We will now start with the presentation of Julia Kocanovic, so please go on.
Does it work? Yeah, it does. Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me to participate at this conference and to this panel. As said, I work for the Foundation for Social and Economic Initiatives, which is a foundation, an NGO operating in Warsaw, Poland. That's okay. And as maybe I wanted to share with you the experience not only of my organization but also of Polish support system for social economy, which has now more than 10 years. But before I start my actual presentation, which won't be on slides, it's just speaking, I wanted to share with you one of the, let's say, aha moments that I had some years ago during one of my foreign travels. Somewhere in 2012, 2013, I was traveling to the Czech Republic to get to know their social economy sector. And back then, what I learned was that they didn't have too much of support sector, structured support sectors. And for Poland, we already had some solutions, some tools, some cooperations with public institutions. So I asked to the social entrepreneur that I had a meeting with, so how do you operate here? And they said, well, okay, we do what we can. We operate with what we have. And that was the moment when I started to think, okay, so what is really important, what is needed in terms of support sector, support structure? Is it really needed, and which elements are indispensable, or which elements are, well, a nice added value, right? So starting from this, I really started to, let's say, observe and see, compare how the support structures work in various countries. And well, coming back to Poland, the support structure we have is quite developed, and I'll start with some numbers to give you, let's say, a basic idea of where we are in Poland. So currently we have this official register for social enterprises, which was set up around 2 years ago, and we have 1,100 social enterprises registered over there. So this is the number. This is the official number, and the social enterprises which are registered, they have access to many tools and solutions that are there that I will explain later. Then many of the social enterprises in Poland operate as NGOs, civil society organizations. As said yesterday by Professor, it's quite similar to your country here. But in 2021, we had registered 138,000 of of NGOs in Poland, and researchers said that new 5,000 register every year. So, well, just to mention that Poland is 38 million people, right? So it's to show you the numbers, right? And then researchers also assess that half of this number is actually active, so around 70,000 of NGOs are really operating and active, and many of them are social enterprises. Yeah, then in terms of social economy sector and social civil society sector in Poland, it was said that 2009, 209,000 people is working there with stable contracts, and out of which 10% is disadvantaged people. And the turnover of this sector in Poland was 40 billion zlotys in 2021. Researchers also say that social economy sector for Poland is more or less 1% of GDP, or if we look at the workforce, is also 1% of the workforce active in Poland. So this is, well, the numbers are big, but then if we look at the percentage and then the share of this sector in the market, it's 1%. But still, it's very important 1% because it activates people who need special support, usually disadvantaged people. So it's also quite important and quite needed. So in terms of what we have in Poland in the support structure, well, our latest achievement, let's say, is the law on social economy, which came only 2 years ago in 2022. But the civil society sector started to speak about social economy around 20 years ago, when we already had access to pre-accession funds from the European Union, and the first activities of, like going abroad, looking for best practices, going abroad to inspire ourselves started. And all those almost 20 years, the social economy sector, which was emerging, let's say, was advocating for law for social economy, and we only were able to achieve not the best quality law, but still a law on social economy only 2 years ago, as I said. And what it brought to us? Well, it somehow put in order what was already there on the market, let's say. So it brought a definition of what social economy is as a sector. Then it defined a social enterprise as a type of an entity, as a status, in fact, which one can acquire. Then it established a register, which I mentioned in the very beginning, which now is more than 1,000 entities. It has more than 1,000 entities in it. Then it also it didn't establish social economy support centers because they were already there since 2009. But the fact that they are put in the law makes them more important and makes them even more embedded in the support structure. So we currently have around 52 social economy support centers, which are distributed all over Poland. They operate locally, and they don't compete with one another. So one social economy support center takes care of let's say, one or two communities, let's say, and they are totally responsible for supporting social entrepreneurship on their field, let's say. So also this mentioned law let's say, makes them even more important and makes them really a part of the whole system, official system of the support. Then again, the law also mentions the rules for public procurement or the cooperation of public institutions with social enterprises. So it's very comprehensive on one hand, and also we have other laws, obviously, that somehow are connected with this one. This would be, for example, the law on the operation of NGOs, because many NGOs are social enterprises, and other laws that, for example, regulate the activity of WISEs, so work integration social enterprises. We have some types of them. I won't go into details. If you want to, you can reach out to me during the break, right? So this is about the law. This is the most recent one, and well, the whole sector was somehow waiting for it, and like a holy grail. But honestly, it didn't really bring too many changes because it just, let's say, established what we already had, thanks to the support of European Social Fund, which helped develop the support structures and social entrepreneurship in Poland from, as I said, from pre-accession fund, but really social economy support centers started operate in 2009. So they are like, you know, very experienced ones, and we also have a quite well-established structure of how they should be financed and how they should be organized. By the way, they are financed usually by European Social Fund, so it's still European Union support here. Then in terms of another legal documents or strategies, we have National Strategy for the Development of Social Economy. Right now it's valid until 2030. It was updated already 2 times. And it's more, you know, like operationalization of the law, and out of it we derive regional strategies for the development of social economy. We have 16 regions in Poland, and each regional institution which is responsible for social policy, they are responsible also to issue a regional strategy for the development of social economy. So what I want to say is that the social economy is already official tool of the support for the people on the labor market, and it is an element of the policy, of social policy in Poland. Then if we detach from legal environment, let's say, what other tools do we have? We have had, I'm not sure if it operates right now, but we have had this the solution of loans, low percentage of loans for social enterprises. It was organized by TISE, which is most commonly mixed with my organization, which is FISE in Poland. We are not the same organizations, but we were set up in the same year. So TISE is a financial institution which gives loans to social enterprises, and they are specialized in this activity, and they are, I think they're currently the only ones who really understand social economy and really are able to support social enterprises, not only by just, you know, signing agreement and giving the loan, but also by counseling somehow to their clients on how to manage the financial, their cash flow, and the whole process of also paying back the loan. Then I think that the Polish Ministry for Labor and Social Affairs, which is the ministry responsible for the support of social economy, they even have this Department of Social and Solidarity Economy. They are very progressive in terms of supporting social entrepreneurship in Poland. They also are initiators of some activities or projects which are usually funded by, again, ESF, European Social Fund, or governmental money. We've had a project to support social franchise, and really one solution of social franchise has been developed under this project and is operating, and they are social economy pubs which sell beer, craft beer, in various places in Poland, and at the same time employing people with mental disabilities. Then we've had a big program of recovery and resilience funds after COVID pandemia, and it supported very much social economy entities in various ways. Maybe we'll have time to go in details later. Then currently they are the ministry is cooperating with the sector organizations to create a kind of self organization network of social enterprises, because we don't have such thing. There is no network of social enterprises which would gather all organizations of this kind in Poland. Even my organization, we are not a network, we're a foundation, so like a single organization, we just support the sector on various levels. And then one super interesting thing and super inspiring for me, it's a grant program which is still running, so we don't know the outcome, but I ask you to keep your fingers crossed, because really we had this offer, we introduced the offer to the ministry and waiting for the results. It's a project for the Academy for Manager for Social Economy. So also including a solution of interim managers that could be active in social enterprises. So really like ideas of the ministry and the officials that are supposed to animate and support the whole infrastructure of social economy are really progressive in my opinion. Then we have private initiatives. What I've already mentioned, all of the activities were like state funded or ESF funded, but then we have also private initiatives, which could be the best social enterprise of the year competition, which this year has its 13th edition. It's a competition that is organized by my organization. We fund it through private donors, donations. And as said, we were able to organize already 13 editions of this competition every year. We are able to give out financial awards to social enterprises, which are chosen in a, let's say, sophisticated process of assessment, and the competition is Poland-wide. So it's also a very nice, let's say, solution to promote, to show social enterprises that are there, operating somewhere in local communities, for example, which have, like good idea, and they are really great in operations. Another initiative would be, how to translate that? Well, I will say it in Polish, and maybe you will understand. It's zakup, which is purchase, and then prospołeczne, so pro-social something, purchase.
Purchase for social enterprises?
Something like
Maybe
that.
like
Well,
procurement?
sorry?
Like procurement?
No, it's not about procurement. It's a label that is given out to social enterprises.
Buy from social enterprises?
Yeah, something like that. Buy from social enterprises, and it's a label that you can apply for as a social enterprise, and it's issued regionally by regional organizations who want to organize regionally. It depends on the regions. Sometimes it's an NGO, sometimes it's a public institution who issues this label. Currently we have 190 labels issued in 14 regions, so it doesn't cover whole Poland, but it's a nice solution, to promote the social enterprise and to show that this enterprise does something more than just operating on the market and making their incomes bigger. So yeah, this was the sweet part, but it's of course not that perfect, and we also have some needs, some lacks that we observe from let's say practical side, and I'd say that our biggest lacks won't be a surprise for you, I guess. So it's a lack of business connections and opportunities. So the whole system of social enterprises in Poland, they're very much embedded in the, let's say, social policies. They are tools for the activations of inactive people, of disadvantaged people, people with disabilities. So it's very much a part of this, let's say, social policy, right? It's not a part of innovations, startups, business solutions, business-oriented solutions. They are usually not too business-oriented. They are very much socially oriented. So I guess that is quite common almost everywhere, right? So also there is lack of, let's say, private funding, investment funds, this kind of solutions which would take social entrepreneurship to, let's say, another level of being successful businessmen, let's say. Because social entrepreneurs, again, not a surprise, they are usually activists, NGO people, people who want to support others and not businessmen. They don't have such skills as, well, en masse, let's say, right? Then lack of educational solutions for leaders to make them more business oriented. There are some initiatives of this kind. Even my organization is a part of a big transnational partnership under Erasmus Plus solution, under which we are currently developing the training schemes, training solutions for managers and workers of social economy, but it's in the making, so we will be able to say something and to share something in 2 years. So lack of this tailor-made education for managers and practitioners. Then what was already mentioned yesterday, education on early stages. It is really really important to make the social economy visible, understandable for young people, so that they can think of social economy as a solution for them in the future. There are some initiatives of this kind, but it's not systemic, and it's fragmented, I'd say. So from time to time we have some initiatives of this kind, but it's not that, for example, social economy would be a part of a learning curriculum in primary or secondary school, where you have we have this lessons of business, right? So this topic could be included there, but it's not. And lack of access to finance that I've already mentioned, and education about how to manage the finance, how to work with money, let's say. And let's say funny, not funny story would be about the award winner of our competition that I've mentioned, the Best Social Enterprise of the Year competition. In the first edition, 13 years ago, the award-winning organization got the award, the cash, the money on their accounts. It was more than 10,000 euros back then, and it was quite, well, it was quite a sum for them. And they said that they kept the money for more a year on their accounts because they didn't know what to do with it. So it's also, like a lack of education with this regard, right? So I was also thinking about, on a more general level, how support systems should be organized or could be organized. And I had those thoughts of that they should, let's say, be more empowering instead of organizing everything for our clients. Be more, giving power to our clients, to social entrepreneurs, instead of treating them like children, let's say, in primary school, giving them all the solutions ready-made. So this is one thing. They should be comprehensive in terms of who offers the support. Some of the support should be public, I think. It works quite well in Poland, but some of it should be private or self-organized, because I think it's also it could provide various, let's say, I forgot the English word now, sorry, attitudes to the support. Then it should obviously encompass various tools like finance, like trainings, like networking and stuff like that. Well, quite obvious. Then it should indispensably include promotion and communication about social economy to raise the awareness and raise the visibility of social economy, because I'm not sure how it works in your countries, but for Poland, social economy is not like it's wide known term. It's not that people, everyday people on the street, you approach and you ask what is social economy, and they say, okay, it's this, this, and that, and it operates here and there. So it doesn't work like that. So it's quite closed, let's say, bubble. And the last thing I wanted to share about this, under this heading, would be that it should really be in line with the local context. So it's not that, okay, we have 5 solutions in Poland, so you can, just copy-paste them to another country. It should be really tailor-made, and whenever you think of, even for Poland, it was, we started by copying, pasting Italian solutions, which were inspiring, but they were really not of use. And really, when we had this first law on social cooperatives, which was adopted in 2004, I guess, or something like that, 2005, it was copy-paste from Italy, and very, very soon, in 2 years, the government discovered that it isn't working. So really, a local context and let's say a panel of local active people should be involved, practitioners I meant, should be involved in thinking about how to organize the locally active support structure. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, for introducing us the Polish systems of support. I recognize some similarities in Serbian systems, like there is a law, but implementation lacks. But we will talk about that later. Now I will give the word to Elena to present us systems of support in Bulgaria.
Thank you. Can I have my presentation? Okay. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone again. As was understood, my name is Elena Kalinova, and I am the finance director of the Bulgarian Center for Not-for-Profit Wall. Next slide. Who are we? We were established 20 plus years ago, and the idea of the foundation is to support the civil society in Bulgaria within all the questions that arise from their work. Of course, our main topic is the legislation, the development of legislation in Bulgaria that concerns all aspects of the work of the NGOs, but we do not limit ourselves only to the legislation, because walls without any applications are useless to anyone. So we developed a lot of training, mentorship and support programs in different areas. We do them both online and offline, and We have training courses in fundraising. We even try to have professionals from abroad each year that give us a wider perspective on fundraising, because fundraising is very limited in Bulgaria for NGOs. One of the programs that we are very proud of is our summer school for NGOs, where within a week we train professionals from NGOs with little experience on all topics, starting from legislation, finance, marketing, digital areas, media, presentations as well. We work with famous journalists and other famous experts on the topics. And of course our program for social entrepreneurship, for which I would explain later how we developed throughout the years, because we have several years of experience. And now I would like to give you an insight on what is happening with the social entrepreneurship legal environment in Bulgaria right now. The situation is as follows. We do have a law on social economy, and it was adopted at the end of 2018. Okay. And in this law, we do have a legal term for what the government considers social economy to be, and social enterprise. And the main topics that the Ministry of Labor wants to see from an enterprise to give the label social to it are the following. The enterprise must implement their activities through a methodology that the Ministry of Labor and Social Economy developed. So the ministries actually brought the ministry actually says if your activity is social or not. The social enterprise must have a profit of at least 7,500 level, which is around 3,850 euro. And the third requirement is that 30% of the employees must be from a target group. This is a problem because the ministry considers that a social environment is one that works with a certain target group, being people with disabilities, unemployed, people under 25 years or above 55 years that cannot find a job. They just limit the social economy to working with people, which is not our understanding for social economy. And there is a voluntary register, just as in your country. And once you apply for this register and you are allowed to be written in the register as an official social enterprise, each 3 years you have to renew your registration and to prove that you still can meet the above mentioned requirements. Okay, what is the actual situation with the law, however, is that it's not really supporting the social economy in the way it is now. Why? We see that in the National Statistical Institute, more than 2,000 enterprises self-declared them to be social enterprise. But for 6 years in this register, we have just 113 social enterprises up to this moment, and I must say that 2-3 months ago they were less than 60. The number raised because there is a European program that is about to open, and everybody expects that if they are not registered in the register as an official social enterprise, they will not be able to apply. So they do not apply in this register at the current moment because they want to, or they see the meaning. They apply because they expect to be required in order to get that. And what are the causes for this lack of interest for the registration, according to us? The causes are as follows. Not all social enterprises implement the methodology of the ministry. For example, we work a lot with a social enterprise that operates in environmental protection. What they do is that they do not hire people with disabilities, but they work with small farms. they also work closely with enterprise that produces salt from the Atanasevsko Ozero near the sea. This lake is very important for the flora and the fauna in Bulgaria. It's unique for Europe as a whole, and through preserving the lake, we can preserve a lot of the unique flora and fauna in the region. They tell the story of the lake through the salt that is produced from there, and it's a very good storytelling for the nature and the preservation of nature in Bulgaria. So our team to consider this a social enterprise because they have a social cause, but they can never register in the official register and never be labeled as such due to the fact that they do not meet the requirements of the methodology of the ministry. Second, the social enterprises rarely have profit. I hear this from the other speakers throughout the panels before, and it's the same in Bulgaria. We consider a social enterprise to be successful if they reach the break-even point, but usually they don't even do that. They're usually funded by donations, by governmental funding, by corporate sponsorship, and so on. So profit is very difficult to be reached. Still, the ministry requires a social enterprise to have a profit in order to be called a social enterprise. And the third reason why the registration is not working is that large NGOs usually have social enterprise as part of their activity within the NGO itself. However, large NGOs also work with social services where they hire social specialists that do not work in the social enterprise. These are different teams. One team is working in the social enterprise and the other one is working in the social service. Usually people working within the social service are much more than the people working in the social enterprise, plus all NGOs have administration, like finance teams, accountants, office managers, and so on. So if large NGOs want to open a social enterprise, they could not reach the requirement of 30% of the employees of the social enterprise, of the 30% of all the employees to be in the social enterprise or to be from the target group. And in order to register as a social enterprise, what they can do is to establish another legal entity, like a company, which capital is owned by the foundation or the association, so that they can limit this 30% to be taken only from the employees in this different entity, which is a burden for the administration. This is a different accounting, different manager of the social enterprises, different salaries that not always can be funded by governmental funds because they are usually meant to go to the foundation, not to the The small NGOs, on the contrary, they do not hire employees on labor contracts usually. So they do not have any employees, and if they want to register as a social enterprise, they must hire somebody on very limited hours a day, for example, 1 or 2 hours, just to show to the ministry that they have some kind of labor contract. For example, another social enterprise that we work with operates in a region that is famous with their traditional craft. They make a special kind of lace that is very popular among Bulgaria as one of our national heritage. Currently, this lace is produced only by elderly women because they keep the tradition. And what this enterprise is doing, they are located in a city that is a tourist point. They have a cultural center there. They sell this kind of lace and other products from the region there, but the employees that work in this cultural center are not a target group. They are not disabled, they are not underage, they are not unemployed. They are just workers that sell the goods. and all the goods are produced by these elderly women who do not want to have labor contracts because they receive pension from the state. So again, this is a fine example of a social enterprise with a social cause and the social impact on this region, because they actually produce work for the people from the region that cannot reach the requirements of the law and will never be registered. One reason that I did not list it, but I remembered listening to you, is that the social enterprises themselves do not recognize the registration as a benefit to them. I often hear they want us to register and they want us to give them some data, but they do not support us at all. What they receive is a logo, a sign that they can put on their goods that these are goods from officially registered social enterprises, and I noticed that they barely use it. They just skip it. It's not very popular among the public, and they don't see the benefit from this logo. So actually, what they say is that they do not feel the support of this register as in your country, because you said that the social enterprises in your country actually receive a lot from being officially registered. It's not the case with us. Okay, other problems that are not faced by the legislation is that this kind of insufficient visibility of the social enterprises. As I said, we have 2,000 self-declared social enterprises, but less than 1% of them are actually known to the public. I work a lot with companies to promote the social enterprise and their goods, and usually I have to explain what the exact social enterprises I want to promote do, because they are not familiar. Usually outside companies know like 4 or 5 of the social enterprises that I work with. So the public gets to know what the social enterprise is, but not at the pace that we would like to. No, can you please? Also, there is a lack of adequate financing. We have some limited governmental funds, but we lack a lot of bank financing. And this is a lack that is in both ways. Both the banks do not recognize the social enterprises as something they can finance, and they do not know how to finance it. Because, for example, if the social enterprise is within the NGO, what the bank wants to see are the financial statements of the NGOs. But the financial statements of the NGOs do not show you the cash flow of the social enterprise, do not show you all these KPIs that usually the bank wants to see. The most simple example is, for example, how much cash do you have against your debt? Because when the NGOs received funding, it goes straightly to cash, and then it goes in the balance sheet straightly to financing for further periods. So you have a lot of cash, but it means nothing. It's not your cash. Unless in the companies, it's not like that, of course. And the other problem is that the financing institutions that actually want to support financially social enterprises cannot reach them, and the social enterprises themselves do not want to take loans. They are afraid to them due to severe lack of financial capacity and knowledge. We worked with a company. It is a governmental funded initiatives that wanted to give loans especially to social enterprises, and they said, we have the money, please get us in contact with the social enterprises because nobody wants this money and we are going to return them to the state. We did some efforts to promote them, and the result was just one social enterprise. The social enterprises themselves do not want to take loans. They rather prefer to finance them by grants. which is a huge problem because the governmental money ends at some point. And usually they are very much focused on financing salaries of the people working in the social enterprises. And for a year or 2 years, those people do have salaries. They receive regular money, they produce some goods, but if within this window they do not teach themselves how to sell their goods in order to achieve a sustainable income and to have at least as much income to finance the salaries that they finance now at this current moment through governmental financing. When the financing is over, they have to ditch out the people, and they are jobless, and this is not sustainable. So we do believe that governmental financial is a good start for NGOs, but then they must finance themselves either through own income or they must take loans, because when you have a loan that you have to return, you do everything within your power to achieve the income that you need to return the loan. So you self-educate yourself how to do the business, and you take all the opportunities to develop your the final point that I would like to speak is that the ministry does not support small enterprises to reach this criteria. Up to now, 6 years after the law was adopted, we had no kind of support from the government for a social enterprise to be established, apart from several fundings and to grow. Just now, they are starting to open the so-called focus points, but they opened last year, and still it's not clear what they are going to do. At least me personally, I cannot understand what these all focus points are doing for this year, apart from existing. So the social enterprises do not meet don't meet any education, don't get visibility from these focus points. We'll see, maybe in the future something will happen, but it didn't up to now. So now I would like to move to what we, the Bulgarian Center for Non-Profit Law, is doing in order to fill the gaps that we have and for which I spoke up to now. First of all, I would like to say that we are split it in 2 teams. The first team is working on the support part in all the aspects as we understand it, and the second team, which is strictly legal professionals, they are working on the legal part, and they advocate. Being the financial manager, I'm not part of the legal team, of course. I will just outline what they do with my last slide, but I can speak about the support system that we created throughout the years. We understand the support in those points that I listed. First, we think that visibility is very important, so we do a lot of visibility campaigns, mainly in the social media, because they are very, very important now. And what is the problem for the very small social enterprises that are in the country, not in the big cities, is that they do not have a market and nobody knows them. So they do need a visibility, because online shopping in Bulgaria is very popular, and they can get clients from all over Bulgaria, even from abroad, but someone needs to understand them to about them. So we do a lot of visibility. Second, we do a lot of practical-based educational activities. We have a whole training system about this. Professionals that we work with for a lot of years, and that we know that they understand both that this is business and this is social, not just people that say you must do business.
talk a little bit later about the other systems of support. As we saw in your both presentations, we have similar challenges here in Western Balkans and Poland, and now I would like to see a Macedonian perspective also. So I would ask Maya to present us how does the Agency for Promotion of Entrepreneurship in Macedonia support social enterprise development through international cooperation and program of development, and also what are some of the best practices in creating educational and mentoring programs for support of social enterprises.
Hello to everybody. I am really very much excited being in Kruševo and being invited to come here as a guest speaker and to talk about our agency activities to support social entrepreneurship. Thank you very much, really, Biljana. I feel that somehow I should start my communication with you with explanation who we are. Maybe most of you haven't heard about our agency, and we are existing for more than 25 years, trying to support SME development in our country. And of course, we started with a donor-driven project in 1999. It's always like that. And I think that experience from this time is important even today, because we actually merged together funds and knowledge. So we were supported by the European Union funds, microcredit line, and to tell you the truth, the SME development in Macedonia started like that. Some of the private companies that we can see today started their businesses with not a big money. It was about 30,000 euros. It's what I want to say. It's not always about accessibility of grants or credits, but what we actually did is combining it with business support services. Unfortunately, like everywhere, changes constantly are happening. And in 2004, we became Agency for Promotion and Entrepreneurship, and the funds were given to the Macedonian Bank for Development. And they're still there, and I'm not sure that somebody is using those funds. We became an agency who is dealing with business support organizations, and we are a small group of people. We are only 8 people employed in the agency. But what we have as a strength is the institutional network of regional centers. They're our friends, they're our colleagues, and we sustain today because of our togetherness and working together on the SME support system development. Of course that we did a lot of mistakes, but we implemented the Japanese rule. Do it even wrong way, improve it with small steps, one by one. And here we have our regional project manager, Ms. Mivako Oikawa, and I'm very glad that she came today on this conference to support us, and also our representative from the regional center Bitola, Nikola San, to tell you the possibilities, how can we together cooperate and make improvements. So what we actually did, maybe what we did wrong to say and what we did right, let's speak about it maybe later. But we started in 2015, and we started with raising awareness about corporate social responsibility, and somewhere at the end, the social entrepreneurship. And then the European Union project came in 2017, and I became a member of the steering committee. And we found out that this topic is very interesting. It's about development of social economy. It's about development of social enterprises. And we let's try it this way. Let's make workshops on social entrepreneurship development. And until 2022, we had about more than 500 participants at those workshops. The main focus, when we did it the best, was in 2021 and 22, when we spread the workshops not only in our program activity that were derived, that were focused on social entrepreneurship, but started this topic to be communicated with young people from the secondary schools. We went in the secondary schools. We started this topic to be more recognizable by working with professors that are lecturing entrepreneurship. And the intention was somehow to open up the door for social enterprises support through our services. We open up the doors for some of our regional centers, and they become contact points for social entrepreneurship. 3 of them were active in the period when the EU project was supporting it. Nicolas Sand will provide maybe that insight. And we found out we actually wanted to become the resource center, but the strategy changed, the game changed, and the Fund for Innovation came up with funds. And they're more, people are more interested when you are providing funds and grants. And what is missing, let's work together and to make an impact in our societies. We, from the state side, NGOs and enterprises together, we can make an impact. Because what we did, when we saw that the stage is very much crowded, we went out, we withdrew. Because we didn't want to compete with the Fund for Innovation, we could not be a competitor to them. So what we thought that we can sell to the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs and to the Ministry of Economy is the standardized mentoring service. Why it is important for social enterprises as well? Because it provides a sustainability of businesses. Maybe you have heard about self-employment project. I think there were some measures tackling social enterprises. But I think that it was not so successful, because you can open up an enterprise, and probably the problem came up when you need to be sustainable. Our standardized mentoring service provides sustainable and continuous support. It is a system that is about working together. Social entrepreneurship is about working together. What we can do for social enterprises, through this system of standardized mentoring services, we can be your partner. Our mentors, Nicolas Sand, is your partner in developing your business. It is a standardized procedure. He is working with you to find out what is crucial at the moment, and for that crucial thing to develop an action plan, but together with you, not alone, somewhere in some office, sitting in some office, but together with you, and to support you in the implementation of those services. On the other side, because we don't have funds, we don't have grants, we provide information what the donor-driven community has and what the state has. We have a fund for innovation, so we can support you in approaching to the Fund for Innovation. We can support you in approaching to the Ministry of Economy, because they have a lot of public calls also, tackling different target groups, or donor-driven community also. So mentoring as a system is somehow connecting all the other activities from the side of the government and from the side of the donor community. This is how we can help social enterprises to sustain, to be more sustainable. And it's always about business, and it's always about profit. You must make profit to be self-sustainable on our market. And I think that we will come to that point. What I would like to say that what is very much important. I am working in this field for more than 25 years. Let's make systems, supporting systems. So if you ask me what we should do to support social entrepreneurship, let's start with young children. Let social entrepreneurship be part of the formal education. Let's talk about this topic much more in the secondary school with the students. Then raise it up on a bigger level. Let's talk with the state, how the state can support Agency for Promotion of Entrepreneurship, Fund for Innovation, donors. But we must be much more active in order to force the government to put funds and to put knowledge that it's much more important in order to become a real social economy. This is the same thing what we are trying to implement in our country. It is very hard. It is very hard. Because the system, what we are trying to implement after 25 years of operating. So it's a process, it's a cultivating entrepreneurial spirit. So what we did, we started with self-employment, then we upgraded with standardized mentoring services, then we have a voucher scheme of subsidized services, and it's not something that is new, it's something that existed in Spain, then in Slovenia, and then we adopted here. Mentoring services existed in Japan for is existing activity in Japan for more than 80 years. In our region, the state agency are adopting it and implementing. We are adjusting to our circumstances. What we lack in order our system to be complete, and in order to tackle also social enterprises here, is the strawberry above the cream. And that is through the screening process that we work together with the company. Find out not only what is crucial, but what is going to be crucial in the future, and find people, experts who can help you in this field, and if necessary, funds available. So we are fighting for the strawberry at the moment. This idea was sold to the government, but unfortunately, it was funded through IPA project. It was not given to us, but we hope that somebody in the government will listen, and then the project that is run in Western Macedonia will be overtaken here in our agency in order to provide sustainability. We have a long list of references, a long reference list of working with EU projects and with EU programs. And what is not good from our experience, we did not introduce these projects in our programs. That is what we made in the wrong way. So the know-how, the knowledge was just for the project purposes. This time we learned. So with the support of Japan and our partners in the region, always together, we put this program into our annual program of activities. Governmental institutions must work like that, and we provided a budget each year more and more. We started with 10,000 euros. Today we have 60,000 euros. Not big money, but improvement has been made. And we have clients from your target group. For example, the last one was the company that was established by the Red Cross in Macedonia. In Macedonian language, kopče. You're probably, yes, button, in English. And also, we had clients, for example, maybe you will know, there is a Daljan hotel in Ohrid, also working with deaf people. Then we had a social enterprise from recycling business. So they're approaching also enterprises that have social impact working with elderly people. So what I would like to say at the end, that we can do better together. And we can offer our services to you if needed. And I think that maybe it's about time to start and to cooperate. I think that I have tackled both of the questions, yeah? And what I want just to say, let's regulate this, do not complicate this, and start working. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing these inspiring practices, how we should work together, both public and civil sector, through the mentorship programs, support and cooperation. Now we can hear another perspective. I will ask Nicola if you could share some examples of how regional centers for social support have provided advisory services that effectively benefit social enterprises, and which of these services are the most beneficial for development of social enterprises.
To all, I think I should go next to the mic. Good day, and thank you for the invitation. When Maya called me and Biljana asked me if I could join this conference, I gladly accepted. Maybe I will give an overview from another point of view. As Maya mentioned, I'm coming from the Regional Enterprise Support Center in Bitola. It's part of the network of the Agency of Promotion of Entrepreneurship in our country. We have established regions in every region, but as an external advisor. But actually, I'm working for the Regional Chamber of Commerce in Bitola for the past 20 years. So I have a point of sight from the business perspective and from also the startup, innovation, and the social entrepreneurship perspective. So at first, we should explain actually what the term social enterprise is to the public, to the business in general, because they don't understand it. When we speak about social, we immediately think about welfare, about social policies, benefits, grant schemes. That is not business-like. Comparing enterprises and NGOs, sometimes, okay, an enterprise can have a mission and a vision, but usually it's connected to generating profit. This is their primary motivation. But they can also have a mission and a vision. A social enterprise has a mission and a vision. An NGO has a mission and a vision, what to do in social surroundings, but they lack the experience and the knowledge of entrepreneurship, of sustainability, as you said. So it's, you mentioned in Poland, I will get to how the Regional Enterprise Support Center actually became a support center for social enterprises. But as you said, in Poland, you still have the problem, it's a bubble. It shouldn't be a bubble, it should be a part of an ecosystem, a network, of the whole, everybody in the system, business alike, government, NGOs, everybody. So it's a social thing in a general sense, not a bubble. The Regional Enterprise Support Center actually became a social enterprise support center 3 years ago, I think, to a second project implemented with Barka from Polish experience. And the primary goal of this second part of the project, the first part was establishing some kind of social enterprise practices in our country. But the second part was actually establishing the BSOs, the social enterprise business support organizations, and its network within the country. And it succeeded in this. We are part of this network. We've been operating since in that manner, but as of '99, we are a regional enterprise support center for self-employment programs, for mentoring services, as Amaya said, and the voucher scheme, and all kinds of programs that benefit the SME support system. So we combine these two through our expertise knowledge. We have a big database of external experts from business sectors, but also from NGO sector and marketing. And I think this is primarily in a small scheme what we do with the Regional Enterprise Support Center. Actually, we will systemize the support. We combine what we have for everybody. We don't differ a normal enterprise, that should be say, from a social enterprise. When the normal enterprise starts, you know, the success rate of a startup is like 90% for the first year or the first 2 years. Usually 90% fall. So it's the same for the social enterprise. What should the social enterprise people starting up a social enterprise learn? It's the same to be competitive on a market. It's not the matter if you generate profit or just break even. Everybody breaks even in the start. They don't generate profit the first 2 years. So this is also a social category. If a person wants to be self-employed, he's also finding a solution for himself, but also society, because he's not going to be on welfare tomorrow from the government. So this is also a social impact. So I think in general we should clarify the term. What is a social enterprise? What is a social responsibility? What are the benefits of social economy compared to the business sector lacks this knowledge actually. When you approach a businessman, mostly, there are exceptions, when you approach a businessman about the opportunity to fund a social enterprise, he will think immediately of welfare, of just grant for a scheme that won't be sustainable in the future, just for a project. So it's this misconception, as you said, when you go in the street, it's this misconception when you go on the street and you say what is social, it's immediately, yeah, you go in the Ministry of Labor and you apply and you get social benefits. That's social enterprise. No, that's not. Yeah, it shouldn't. That's why we need this systematic approach. Regarding the system, we have been trying to, through the project, trying to push a law on social economy here. I think it passed all the phases in the government. It's now in the assembly for adopting, but it's still not adopted. But I don't think, by my, I'm gonna go through now like mentoring expert. Maybe my Japanese training has influenced me to go in the core of the solution, to find the solution. Maybe that shouldn't stop us, because as we said, NGOs can have economic activity and these social enterprises, but also nobody stops you of registering a normal company, a startup, and have a mission and a vision and complement it with a social benefit of some sort and be a normal liability company, limited liability company that generates profit but actually reinvests the profit. I've been to a couple of panels previously in the past, and we've organized a couple of social enterprise fairs. We had forums like this and shared experience. For example, in Greece, there's a legislative solution that you can register a non-profit company. It's not an NGO, it's a non-profit company. It's a company that actually you register and you don't distribute profit. By law, you're obliged to reinvest this profit. And if you have a mission and a vision that serves the social surrounding, actually that's a social enterprise. So maybe with a little transformation in our enterprise law, registration of enterprises, we could have such a company. We shouldn't have big solutions maybe in the future. until we like tailor make it for ourselves, this law on social economy. But at the moment, maybe this is a better solution for the problem, because NGOs, as I mentioned, and as you said, sometimes lack employees, sometimes they lack resources, lack knowledge about sustainability, because usually for an NGO you want to solve something, act locally but solve it globally. You're not thinking about the long run if the NGO is going to be sustainable or not. You're going by your gut mostly. So the main thing is treat social enterprises like they're enterprises, not like NGOs, because they're in a tough competitive market, and they will need support. Yes, of course, we need support for those social enterprises, but as we do for startups. So the support system, what we have, actually we can use for both. We also made a registry through this project. I think a small number of NGOs or some companies actually registered on the regional level, about 10, maybe about 50 or 60 nationally. And the thing is, there's no incentive on people on making it from both sides, and from the government side and from the startups themselves, to register in some sort of a social entity, social enterprise. There's no incentive in the value that's being added to society. This is the main issue. This is the main target that we should resolve. As I said, mentoring is coming to me, so I'm not looking at the formality of things, but at the core of things. What we understand in our society is to be beneficial for our society to grow. This is the main idea. Businesses are what drives the economy and drives the society. It's the first part that we should it's a first part of society that we should introduce them to social responsibility, environment, governance, that they need to be responsible, and social economy. This is the key element. Government also depends on economy. So what the economy does actually translates to government law, to legislative. As you said, through Poland, you already had this established system, now you formalized it within laws and stuff like that. So this is the experience. We sent a lot of, I think about 4 mayors from our region were in Poland on study visits. We had some success with one social enterprise in actually in Resen, in Prespa. The mayor actually gave them a booth. They're artisan working with copper and traditional souvenirs, for example. At the same time, people with disability, but they're trying to make it on the market as sellers of high quality artwork. They're not trying to be just to get money for being disabled. So actually they're trying, so it's very motivating when you speak to them. So we had organized pitching sessions for them. They actually got loans, not just loans, grants from the business sector. And also we had a company here in Bitola that we got through a pitching session that opened up a small pizza shop. They had a coffee shop, they opened up a small pizza shop because actually the owner previously went to Italy and was working in a pizza place, and actually he brought all that knowledge from Italy but couldn't put value on it. And we provided assistance in getting the right equipment through actually business donors who bought the ovens for them. It's not just sharing information, it's also providing assistance. If we could provide funds, if we could have the necessary capacity and means. who wouldn't? When you meet a person that's motivated, even if you approach business angels organizations, maybe that's another step that social enterprises could think about, because the IT sector is very knowledgeable in this area, and share experience from this practices. How actually should a social enterprise approach business angel networks? So, because actually it is a business. It needs to be a viable business in order to be stable and to grow and to fulfill its mission and its vision. That's it for me. Thanks.
For sharing the insights from the mentorship perspective and giving the good examples. Now I will open the discussion with the public, so now you can ask the questions to the speakers.
Hello, I have a question for all the panels. So where I'm from, the education and the healthcare are provided for free. Sorry, because I had to write the question. Are provided for free and everyone has access regardless of their income. But given the challenge of funding these services, do you think social enterprises can play a role in improving or sustaining these systems, or should these services be always fully by the government? Yeah, I can say it again. So I'm from Kosovo, and education, the healthcare are for free for everyone. But do you think a social enterprise can do something in it, or this should be covered always by the government? Provide to make this access for free, or should be just fully covered by the government? Because we know that in the other states, our education and university are, education and healthcare are with paying. So is there a way that you can make this for free for everyone?
In order to make it free, you have to have resources. So who will provide the resources for the social enterprise to make it free? So the government again.
So it's not government, it's all the people, right?
Okay.
Because when we
Government is
buy
a
something,
representative.
there are also included taxes, and by those taxes, the university and the healthcare are provided for free. So we as a student, we don't have to pay for the university, and when we go to hospital, we don't have to pay for the service. So I think this is the best way that
Somebody
other
pays. Somebody
states-
pays. No, somebody pays. The employees usually pay. It's deducted from the monthly pay. So it's partly
But
for
actually,
health
the
and
money that it goes, the money as it comes, right? So it should be something that we as a student, we don't have to pay for the university. The university should be for free. But in the
my
other
case
states,
exactly the same. I studied here in the university in Bitola. It was for free. But actually, you know who paid for my studies? My father, because he was working. Through
but
taxes.
this is
So
a double.
It's not free again, if you see it.
I think this is a double payment. So you pay by taxes and you pay by direct way, right?
Okay.
But in Kosovo, we pay just by taxes. So can you guys do something just to pay by taxes and not to pay by direct way?
As we said, most of the education here, also in Macedonia, it's primary, secondary school is free. So
Yeah, primary and secondary school are free, but
also
university.
the government universities.
But in university, you have to
free,
pay
but
a
some
price.
small fees.
Thank you. We have here.
Practically in Macedonia there is this kind of good practice. government is paying social enterprises that provides social services for vulnerable groups. Yes, the government paying these social enterprises, and they are providing service to these marginalized groups for free. So it's some kind of maybe model that the young men strive for. Yes, maybe this model could work in education. For example, government to pay some educational centers to provide training, mentorship, and other activities for free to social enterprises.
We not trainings and events, because we know they are funded by many embassies. So there has to be a choice that student doesn't have to pay for university. The university should be fully covered by the government, or social
yes,
enterprises or activists has to do something to
Now we are speaking
cover
about
this.
the same, that if government is paying some service, it can be provided from governmental institutions, state, they are not governmental, but state institutions like state universities, state hospitals, or maybe social enterprises that can get money and do it for free. It's like
Just to add to
private state partnership.
Just to add to the conversation, which is the biggest social enterprise here, for example, where we are, the country. That's the biggest social enterprise. Actually, the same business logic applies to market, applies to countries. Also, countries have to think about this mentality, have an added value within its system in order to have free education, free added value to society. So it's not separated like we think government or the government gives us. It's not the government. We are the whole country. This is the whole. This is the main idea. So it's not a separate thing. It's an organism. So
Question for the three countries, social enterprise ecosystems. How inspiring is for social enterprises to self-declare social enterprises that were mentioned in the Bulgarian context to register in social enterprise register to become officially social enterprises with label and everything, when the legal for social enterprises in most of the countries is very rigid, especially when it comes to distribution of profit. Most of social enterprises work as for profit, but not dividend enterprises. That means that they can earn money, they can make profit, but they can distribute to the owners. So there are, for example, as I know in Polish law, 100% of the profit cannot be distributed to the owners. I was in the working group for the Macedonian law, and we have some kind of argue about how much to be the limit. So as a professor at Faculty of Economics, I strive for 20 to 30% to be the limit of distribution, to 20 to 30% to be reinvested in the company, and other part of the profit to be part of distribution to the owners. How can we attract private companies, small business companies to register as social enterprises if we limit the owners who invest money to take part of the profit? This is the main question. And the second sub-question is how is it possible in all these ecosystems with so few enterprises, social enterprises, to inspire other social enterprises to become social enterprises when government doesn't provide specific policies and measures to initially support social enterprises. Then they should be financially sustainable, I agree about that, but if we don't know who are the social enterprises in the country, and they are not inspired to register in the register of social companies, how can government provide measures to support them in this sense?
The situation is that a definition-wise problem, because if we look at the definition of a social enterprise in the register I've mentioned, we have 1,100 entities of this kind registered currently, and those registered are there because through being in the register they have access to additional funds, solutions, support structures and stuff of this kind, right? But then if we look at the whole social economy ecosystem in Poland, the number would grow to 100,000 entities, which we call social economy entities, to differentiate them from social enterprises. So usually social economy entities, they are also enterprises or semi-enterprises, because usually they are NGOs that also run business activity, not through spin-off like you mentioned in your presentation, but they are just foundations, associations that also have business activity, and they have incomes from the market. So in terms of incentives, how to attract social economy entities to become social enterprises. Well, this is the access to services and funds and all the support structure that I've mentioned. What lacks there is tax incentives, which is a holy grail, I guess, for social economy, and not only in Poland. We don't have any tax incentives for being social enterprise in Poland, so the incentives are somewhere else, meaning access to grant solutions for start, or grant solutions to set up a new workplace in already existing enterprise. These services are done through social economy support centers, the network I've mentioned, that we have 50-something entities of this kind in covering all Poland. So yeah, this is about attracting social enterprises to being in the register. And when it comes to your first question, from my perspective, I'd say that it's almost impossible, realistically speaking, to attract, let's say, conventional business, normal business as we call it, to become social enterprise, because the motivation is somewhere else. People who set up a social enterprise set up a social enterprise in the first place because they want to solve a social problem. They want to respond to a need, solve a problem, employ people, work with the environment, and whatever social we can put there. And conventional businesses, they are usually set up to, like, make more profit, right? Multiply the profit. So honestly, I haven't heard about the shift.
I think it's a misconception that
would like to answer the second question about the motivation. Now, what is peculiar about the Bulgarian Center for Not-for-Profit Law is that we work for the civil society, not for companies as a whole. So we actually work only with social enterprises that are established by NGOs. They can be companies, but they must be owned by an NGO. And in all of our educational programs, we always have sessions about profit-making economic activities. So we do want to encourage NGOs to make profit-making economic activities along with the non-profit. And we do see the results from this because in the program for training and funding social enterprises, each year we have at least 12 new trained social enterprises. Some years we have more if we have a lot of good candidates. And for example, this year more than 40 NGOs applied with the idea. So we had to cut a lot of them because we accepted only 13. So we see the urge from the NGOs to have social enterprises. They do want to do it. They just need to know how, and they need a support afterwards. And it's the support afterwards that is actually the very difficult thing, not having the idea and wanting to implement it. What we do afterwards to support them to exist and to be sustainable is that after they finish this program, 3 of them receive funding, but we do still want to work with the rest. Nevertheless, if you received funding from us or not, if you went through this program, you can enter the second phase of the support system, which is the actual sales. We have an online site, it's called Dar Pazar, maybe most of you will understand it, where we sell goods from all the social enterprises that we work with throughout the whole country. So we eliminate the regional clients. You can sell all over the country. We have a shop that is situated in the heart of the capital of Bulgaria, where you can see actually the goods of the social enterprises, not just see them online, but actually see them. And what is very important for our team that works in the shop is that we all the time tell the story of the social enterprise, and we promote them to the public. We also work with several of the biggest online retailers in Bulgaria, and they have companies in which they sell the goods of the social enterprises for free. They do not take their share of the profit, and thus we reach really a lot of people that will neither see our website nor the websites of the social enterprises, neither will they come to the shop. And what we do is that we also sell business to business, which is the real booster for the social enterprise, because if they can produce 10 plates for the shop, if they want to sell business to business, they have to produce 100 plates. And this was actually the accelerator in our program, the actual production, because they have to plan the production in time, and the actual business. So it's not really having the idea and motivating them to implement the idea. It's the implementation itself that they need support.
I think that if the law is adopted, the government will start to think what to do. And we will be forced to take measures and to provide funds. So one solution is let's adopt the law. Yes, it's about our maybe mentality, as you said. In the meanwhile, for example, our agency cannot support NGOs. To support you with the standardized mentoring service, you must be an enterprise. It's in our law. That's the purpose of our establishment. But what we did and what we could do in future is raise awareness among different target groups about the possibilities of establishing social enterprise. That is where NGOs, that is how can I say, the mutual point we can meet in the meanwhile. Why we withdraw? We withdraw from this story because there were too many workshops, too many trainings, and that because we didn't know where to target our activities. If we come together and make a program that makes sense, that is in our strategies also to be supported. For example, now you probably don't know. Now the Ministry of Economy is preparing SME strategy 2025-2030. I am really interested whether they will contact NGO sector, but why to wait somebody to contact you? Contact them. And that's how the social entrepreneurship will be written in the strategies. And when written in the strategies, you can call upon it and you can say, okay, we need this, that. If it is not in the strategy, the government will stay aside. Thank you.
To add one thing, it's a cross-discipline thing. So actually what Maya said, contact the Ministry of Economy. Because we usually, again, when we think of the term social, it's okay, the Ministry of Social Affairs. It's their job. No, actually it's a cross-ministry thing. So it's a system, again, it's a system. We should approach it as a system, a solution on a system base.
In order to contact the Ministry of Economy, they should have internet in the ministry and open mail addresses and answer the emails, but they are not receiving their emails because they have problem with their website. And I asked, and I called them 3 times they to be part of your session, and one person who I don't know who is the person answered to me, Miljana, we have problem. We are not. I called them on regular phone, on Ministry of, like a citizen of Republic of North Macedonia. Where I to contact you in order you to answer on my mail? That was my question. It's a regular question. And how they are making the strategy for small and social enterprises without mail addresses and without websites? You understand me what I'm saying? Even if we want to contact them, I approach to them on the same way as I approach to you. In the same way as I approach to the fund for the innovation, and I approach to the Ministry of Social Affairs the same way. From the ministry, we didn't receive answer, but because I know that they have internal element now in dividing the sectors, because we have new ministry now, maybe we can find some justification. But do not have mail addresses. Maybe I called on the phones. I don't know other ways. In Kruševo here, we are using Gulabi for communication. I don't want, you are very kind with us. You arrive here, you connect us with other people. I'm speaking now concretely for Maya. And I don't want you to understand me like direct message, but it's impossible to contact Ministry of Economy. I'm telling you for 1 week before, 10 days before. However, my question was other story. The question for Poland and question for our speakers. Firstly, for Poland, you said that you have some competition. I wrote like this, that is financially supported, or the fund maybe inside the competition, from the companies. In North Macedonia, we are struggling to sensibilize the companies in order to have this kind of support measure strategies. Of course, companies should have interest, but maybe you have some advices towards us how we to approach to the companies, not to be only donations, but let's do something in partnership. We don't need budget for salary of Biljana Stojčevska. We need budget for continuation of this story, what we are doing here. And question to both representatives of our institutions. We also want to be partner with you for European projects. Not only for European projects, but for different, what is the procedure? How, for example, NGO like Youth Alliance, Khrushchev, we are here different NGOs, how we can, I know also the capacities of the institutions are not big, also our capacity is not big, but in order we to have sustainable story for the young people, we should be in partnership with institutions. What is your advice? What is your strategy for these formal partnerships? Okay. Thank you very much.
No, I don't know how to explain that well. We have had partners that are there with us, that have been there with us for many, many years. So it's a relationship, I'd say. The companies that support the competition are the companies that at the same time understand social economy and they have their social values also. So to speak on more general level, I'd say that while looking for a business partner, one would have to first see if the company even understands social values, have their social ESG strategy, for example, or somehow addresses, touches the topics that you are also interested in. So this is the first thing, quite obvious from my point of view. But you know, it's like if you approach just a regular company and there is no one who understands what is NGO, what is social activity, what is that you want to do, it would be most probably quite difficult to convince them to support activity of your NGO, right? So for us, it's well, it's also a difficult matter to translate what social economy is, because it is not common knowledge. But the partners who are there with us are most usual, for example, entities that somehow are connected to social economy. For example, a mutual insurance company, which in some countries would be also considered as a social economy entity, or the financial institution, the TISE I've mentioned, who also gives out loans to social enterprises. So our partners in this competition are the companies who already understand the idea of social economy.
Regarding this experience about competition, because I mentioned I'm coming from the Chamber of Commerce, we as an establishment actually were one of the founders of the business incubator in Bitova in 2008. So one of the activities of the business incubator, now it's closed, not to mention that it's no longer active, but it was active about 10 years. One of the activities was actually business plan competition in this part. So when you look at a point that as a society in transition, and when you set up a system for helping startups, actually is very close to the system of support for social enterprises in approach. So this is something that we have experience in. Just the terminology, as I said, maybe a little bit of more information should be spread. And I think it's a solution that a lot of companies will be attracted to, they're not always governed by profit. Large companies are mostly governed by social status. When there is a big corporation, for example, actually it's more important to the corporation on how they are, what their position is in society, not just how much profit they generate year by year. That's the goal, but for the profit. Okay, the owners work for that. But actually, they will not generate profit next year if they have smudge on their reputation, for example. So this is, for example, Mlekara Bitola. It's a very social responsible company. It's always included in a lot of NGO activities, health food benefits, protecting the environment. Now the green transition is very important within this region. So I think there's an opportunity, but the way you approach companies should be handled carefully. Like you said, let's cooperate on a project together. That's a no-no. That's how it's actually a saying, okay, can we use your money to fund our project? So the way is what the company gains as visibility, how it's established in society. This is what big companies want to be known by. They will generate profit anyway, but they find another idea to do it. Sometimes outside of the country, it's not always in, because they're not constrained by our system. We are in a system with local entities, small entities. When you go outside, you will see it's a big wilderness, but big companies have a grasp to this. They don't just need the small system here. They may be grown out of our system. As I said, what their visibility is, the approach on how to get to them is the key.
So, say something from the Bulgarian point of view. Driving to the hotel, we had the radio on, and we heard an announcement about this gathering here. And it was quite a long one. We are all very surprised that they gave, they gave you really a lot of time on the radio. So I suppose you have some good connections with the radio in this case. But in connection with this, I wanted to tell you a story from Bulgaria. There is an international organization that is called Reach for Change. I don't know if you heard them. And for a very long time, they had a branch in Bulgaria. I believe it's a Swedish one, but I'm not really sure. And they partnered with one of the biggest Bulgarian TV stations, and they made the competition for social entrepreneurs like a reality show. And it was a very popular one. It was called The Change. They picked several social enterprises each year, and they made the whole show about them, what they wanted to do. And actually the public of the television voted for the winner. And then the winner got some financing that I believe was part from the mother foundation, part from business in Bulgaria, like banks. They also got training and so on, like normal social enterprises. But one year, one of the winners was an organization that was dealing with the problems of deaf people, people that don't hear. And their business idea was to develop a software for tablets, for businesses. If they have such a client, they can point to the tablet and they can do all the work that they need, for example, signing a contract for communication services for telephones through this tablet. They can communicate with the people in this way without knowing the sign language. And one person that had a child with this kind of disability saw this TV show because it was really popular and people watched it. And on the next day, he contacted the director of the company and he donated them their yearly budget because he was also the owner of a very profitable company. So I do agree, visibility is the key. And also, now in Bulgaria, all big companies are obliged by the law to have the so-called ESG. This is environmental and social governance. I'm not sure if this is because we are in the European Union, but anyways, yeah, it's catchy here. I suppose it will be a global term, but they are obliged by the law to have to take action for environment and social activities. So when we approach companies, we usually approach them on this basis, and they use the budget that they already have set aside for such activities. So it is getting really easier to reach the companies, but still visibility is the key.
Thank you very much. If we don't have any more questions?
Shortly.
Okay, sorry.
Very shortly, because I'm a representative from the government. And we are an intermediary organization, and nobody likes us. From the above or from the bottom. We are kicked from everywhere. So I know that you do not refer to me directly. I know that the Ministry of Economy is the Ministry of Economy and Labor. Please do not expect to say anything wrong, because the budget, our budget, comes through the Ministry of Economy. But what I can say here, it's all about networking. Yes, you called us, and I was thinking about Nicola. Maybe he can also add value to this conference, and also Mivako-san. Maybe someone is interested what Japan is doing, you know, about the topic of social enterprises, also to be here and to be asked. And we are a supporting system, all three of us. So how to approach at the moment the Ministry of Economy?
Perseverance.
maybe not. They still have the problem with they still have the problem with internet, but maybe we can use this opportunity and maybe my network also to connect you somehow with the people who are working on the SME strategy. The professor is also involved in the development of the SME strategy, and there are some consultants, you know, the consulting sector. And there is a professor from the mechanical engineering faculty who is the responsible guy. So we can make the connection. I don't know whether social entrepreneurship is mentioned somewhere within the strategy. They're preparing the strategy, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know whether yes.
Can be integrated social strategy into the strategy for SMEs.
Yes.
The point is to social enterprises to get the best from the both strategies, because they are at the same time, according to our intentions in our country, as we find some touching points with Nicola, yes, that we should strive to attract private companies to become social enterprises, to register as social enterprises, because I would rename all social enterprises as social impact enterprises. If we give this name of social enterprises, we will get social enterprise 2.0 version. It's more modern and more comprehensive version of old understood social enterprise, as says Nicola, social enterprises for social services and welfare.
Let's make it complementary. It's good when you are everywhere, you know, positioned, I think. So we can make a contact. And about the projects,
Yes.
of course, course that we are open for project. Everybody wants project. Everybody. It's a good approach, you know. So how do we function? Because human resource in our agency is limited. We are only 2 working on international cooperation. And so what do? We try to find a project where all aspects are gathered in the project. To be international, to have institutional capacity building and development of certain programs. It can be development of program for social entrepreneurship, for example. But what we need is a program and a call. So when there is a program and a call, but 6 months earlier, maybe even earlier than that, we should sit on table and find mutual interest to cooperate. It's normal, like we are doing in every other project. That is the way.
Do we have more questions?
And I see that, if I understood correctly, that this name, social entrepreneurship, is a big question and big problem. Especially with young people, they don't understand, and you said immediately you connect to grants and free funds. But what do you think about to change this name? I know that in Serbia, I heard that some people are talking to change it to Solidary Enterprise. What do you think? Does it have sense for you?
Social impact enterprise is the best.
Oh, okay, for you this is the best solution.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Social system, yeah.
Area. So, sustainable companies or social impact companies? Solidary is more, I would say, social economy approach that it's a way that in Poland is accepted, and maybe in Bulgaria is approach.
Poland, solidarity is strongly connected with the political movement that was set up in 1980 and was responsible for the political and economical shift in 1989-1990. So solidarity has other, let's say, connections, and it wouldn't be a good idea. Also because solidarity leads us more to social welfare, social, and not social innovations and sustainability. And there are no such ideas currently. Even the department at the Ministry for Labor and Social Affairs has withdrawn from solidarity from their name. So they are Social Economy Department, not Social and Solidarity Economy Department currently.
We don't have any questions. We can now finish our sessions. Thank you to all speakers for inspiring discussions. And now I will invite you on a coffee break. The next session will start at 1:45.